Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle and I have a really fun review because I have Sixbuilder, well the Sixbuilder Micromaster reissue from 2002, and I have the Destron Sixbuilder, and I have the Kaybee exclusive Micromaster Devastator. This isn't really a versus review, but I'm going to go through these guys, we're going to talk about the differences and what's cool about them, and go from there. Be right back. So way back in 1992, in Japan, they released a whole bunch of different Micromasters that merged into different characters. Sixbuilder was one of them. Now this one here is a reissue. It was reissued in Japan in 2002, and whereas the original was in a gift set that you could buy all at once, this one you had to buy individual one. Plus there were chase figures who built this guy. So I want to talk about the original Sixbuilder first, and then we're going to go into all the component pieces. But a lot of things changed when they reissued this. Instead of having decals, stickers, they actually used paint applications, which is fine. They also changed some of the colors, which I'm going to go through guy by guy. But what's cool about this is it's a very small combiner, probably about the size of Monstructor. And they were only released in Japan, and they're very hard to find as the originals. So it was great that they did a reissue. Now there are 6 members of the team. So we'll talk about each of them. They all had names. Some of them are kind of funky because it is from Japan, no offense. Or at least the translations are kind of funky. But let's start out and take this guy apart. So this is the team. There were 6 members of the team, and they came with accessories such as feet, a chest piece, a head, fists, a gun, and even the upper legs and crotch. What is interesting about all these additional pieces is you could actually kind of make a vehicle out of them that one of the guys could get into. I probably should have looked up how to do that, but that's what phones are for. So all the pieces except the head, which, I mean, I could put it on the back and upside down, go together to form a vehicle, and you can put a Micromaster in there, and they could just fly around town shooting things because there's a big gun on the front. All kinds of fun. So that's a kind of neat thing. But yeah, you do have a lot of pieces. This is very reminiscent of like Devastator because he had a lot of pieces. The original G1 had a lot of pieces that you had to hook on the guys. But still, it's neat. It has an additional purpose. So the first one I want to introduce you to is, and this is his name. Yes, this is Crushbull. He is a bulldozer. Again, I'm not sure how it is said in Japanese. It's probably better than Crushbull, but whatever the case, he's a Micromaster. He can move his arms forward. His head can't turn. You can kind of wiggle his bottom legs. Not wiggle his bottom. And like many Micromasters that came out towards the end of G1, as this is a reissue of one of those, albeit Japanese, not a lot of posability, but he's a robot. Now the original Crushbull was a lighter green color, and here you can see him as a bulldozer going back and forth. He's got little wheels on the bottom because the treads, as usual, don't work. The green was lighter in shade on the original, almost to a Constructicon green. Not that he was a Constructicon, because he clearly has an Autobot symbol. He's also the leader, and interestingly enough, when they emerged into Sixbuilder, he's the ass. Well, you know, there's a lot of people who think their boss is an ass, so in this case it just happens to be literally true. So while the original set came in a gift set, these were individually packaged. They had numbers to kind of indicate who was in the package. And I think 2 out of every 12 were the solid kind of limeish green, almost Constructicon green. And they are supposed to represent evil Destron Sixbuilder. They all have the exact same names, but they're just Decepticons, or Destrons as they were called in Japan. And still are called to this day, I believe. Here is Bonecrusher. Now, Bonecrusher is a Kaybee exclusive, and this is one of the weird places, so rare, where the deco on a US release toy is better than on a Japanese release toy. You can see, and I'm just comparing him to the Destron version of Crushbull, but you can see that Bonecrusher has some nice deco. He's got the black highlights and the black shovel, and he just looks nicer overall. They all have similar, as you could imagine, bot modes, but even the detailing on Bonecrusher compared to the original Crushbull seems a little bit better. His head has more coloration, it's got some nice detailing on the face, so weird, but it does happen. And of course, as Micromasters, very few of them actually come with weapons, so except for like Growl. But Now, Digger is an excavator. Yes, he's a digger. Original coloration was like an orange, yellow, and red, and now he's just kind of like yellow shades. But he rolls around in vehicle mode. His evil Destron counterpart is there, and this is Scavenger, who was a different kind of excavator in his original form, but still has the same type of shovel. Again, limited mobility because they are Micromasters, but there they are all in their bot modes. And again, I have to say that of all the decos, I really like Scavengers the best. The regular Digger reissue, close second. And these chase figures are fun, but very little paint apps. They have Decepticon symbols on them somewhere usually, but they're not really painted much. So cool to have, but as far as the way they look, they're a little bland. Now, Gran Arm is a front end loader, and he's got wheels that move back and forth, and basically he can also dig somewhat. We have the Destron version, who has a nice Decepticon symbol underneath the shovel, and on top they all have symbols there. And then there's this guy, who you would think, hey, he's a Constructicon. This must be Scrapper. No. You know what they named him? Buckethead. Buckethead. I don't know why they called him Buckethead, but they decided that was a good name for a Constructicon. I'm gonna call him Scrapper. So what is interesting about Gran Arm and Buckethead / Scrapper is the transformation and the robot mode are a little bit different. And of course we have Gran Arm, the evil. When I first got these, I thought they were basically supposed to be like a Chase Decepticon set. It wasn't until recently that I discovered they're supposed to be just evil with the same names. So a good amount of detailing, but what's interesting is the arms, the way they're set up, is the wheels actually block movement of the arms. You can move them on top, can swing them around the bottom. On each of these guys, can't really point them all the way forward. Of course, the rest is as blocky as any other Micromaster. But what's interesting is you can tilt the head up because part of the transformation is turning the head around. So it's got a little swivel in there. And in this case, I'm gonna say that Scrapper and Gran Arm, very similar deco, very nice. And again, the chase one, I mean, I understand it was a chase one. It was not given as much attention to detail just because it was a chase figure. If you have a choice between getting the Kaybee exclusives or getting the chase one, unless you want both, I would go one or the other, go with the Kaybee Devastator, even if they do call him Buckethead. Now, Gran Arm used to be, the original release was red, and now it's orange with a little bit of red detailing. And I will say I don't mind that they changed the colors because those who have the actual originals, having them in slightly different colors lets them know that they are in fact originals, which is hard to do with a lot of reissues nowadays, and fake reissues. But putting them out even in slightly different colors, or sometimes not so slightly different, still allows those who missed out on the originals to enjoy them. And now we're on to the crane hook. He is called Iron Lift. And again, he rolls about. You can turn the hook in various directions. I didn't mention with the excavator, you could also turn those. Oops. And so we have Iron Lift, Evil Iron Lift, and you would think this would be Hook. Hightower. Hightower. Now, that's not a horrible name. It's not Buckethead. But Hightower, I believe, was a Autobot in Car Robots / Transformers Robots in Disguise the first time around, back in 2001 or so. And so they're giving a Decepticon / Constructicon an Autobot name. What's wrong with Hook? Hook's a good name. They could even call him the Decepticon Hook or Constructicon Hook, as they had to do with Autobot Jazz for a while. But nice little rolling around cranes. I haven't transformed these a lot, so they're a little stiff. And they had just about the same amount of posability as the excavator. So there they are side by side. Again, the chase one, kind of bland, no real paint apps, a little bit of paint for the windshield. About even on these guys as far as deco. But again, I like the unified color scheme of the Kaybee exclusive Devastator Micromasters. So still, they're both good, even if they do decide to call them Hightower. Anyways, now Iron Lift had quite the facelift because instead of being his original kind of like white with like a blue hook, he's now red with a gray hook. And he did have some orange detailing originally, a little bit of red, but now he's pretty much yellow and a little bit of silver. So next we have the dump truck Shredder. Again, not a horrible name. Rolls around. Here we have Evil Treader. And yay, we have Long Haul. Guess what? They kept his name. That's good. So not much you can do other than roll around the dump truck. His coloration was a pretty awesome black with some gold. And they changed it to bright yellow with some like little bit of red highlights. And while I support them not allowing people to mix up the originals with the reissues, you can tell by the paint apps instead of the decals. Plus they could have made him black with red, that would have been okay. His transformation is slightly, because it is a Micromaster, more complex than some of the others. Yes, you do stretch him out, but then you have to push the front part forward, so it actually looks pretty cool in robot mode. Actually pretty reminiscent of how Long Haul looked in G1. There's the three together. You'll also notice with the chase, they didn't make it as light as they did for the Kaybee ones, and I think the Kaybee ones, I would have to go grab an original to be sure, but I do think that the Kaybee ones are more the same shade as the original G1 Constructicons as compared to the little bit darker lime green on the chase ones. The arms don't really move a lot. You can move them forward, but then there's the bumper, so that keeps you from doing too much. But still, they're Micromasters. I know the newer ones have better technology and are more posable, but it's what we had at the time. And finally, the last of the 6-builder set called Mixer. He's a cement mixer. Now, he used to be lime green with some white, it had some blue, but now he's aqua green with red and black. But looking at the detail of them in cement mixer mode, I have to say that this guy wins. You would say Mixmaster. Nope. They called him QuickMix. Really? QuickMix? QuickMix is a Target Master Autobot who has 2 Target Master partners, does change into a cement mixer, but he's not a Decepticon. What's wrong with Mixmaster? Come on. You couldn't have had some major trademark issue with that name, could you? I don't know. If you know of another Mixmaster who's not a Transformer who could have caused that name change, let me know in the comments, but just seems odd. So here's Mixer and Evil Mixer and not QuickMix, but Mixmaster in their robot modes. Again, at least you can move the arms like all the way up and down. So these are very cool. What's interesting, we have the parts for the reissue. We have the parts for the chase, and then we have the parts for the KB exclusive. Let's merge these guys. Doesn't take that long. So there they all are in their merged modes. Now, because it's just a post, you can actually turn the head. It's kind of cool on each of these. And you can move the arms forward. You can even move them out to the side, which is kind of cool. So there is some posability with these guys. Moving the legs, not so much. You can kind of bend a little bit, but that's not supposed to be that way. And you can't really pose them that way. So they're very cool Micromaster Combiners. They're obviously all the same mold. If you like good guys or bad guys, it's really up to you which set you want to get. I'll put some links to eBay because that's pretty much where you got to go for these guys. They're not in any stores, well, no stores that sell new toys only. But I definitely recommend all of them. Yes, I know I ragged on the Chase version quite a bit. And looking at his merged form, I mean the detailing, he's still kind of bland when you put him up next to the Kaybee Devastator. A lot more detailing on this one. So I definitely think this has a better deco, but I like them all. I have them all, obviously. And if you're gonna be a completionist, which I'm kind of somewhat, not as bad as I used to be, I'm getting help, then you might want to get all 3. But they're very cool. Something that we should have seen more of in the US. I think if they had Micromaster Combiners, that might have helped the line a little bit, but Micromasters were kind of towards the end of the G1 line. After that, we had Action Masters, and well, we all know how that turned out. Not that there aren't some cool ones. So again, check out eBay, link in the description, and if you like this video, if you like these Micromasters, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Do you want me to talk about 6-liner and 6-train and 6, all the other ones, 6-wing, I think there's one more, 6-turbo? I can talk about those reissues and their chase variants too, if you'd like. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see. In the meantime, while you're hunting down these guys, you can check out some other videos. There's a subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. You can again comment, like, share with friends, all the YouTube stuff. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and as always, have fun and good hunting.